You know, I normally don't wear a black tie. It's not my thing, it's not my fashion. I don't look bad in black. It's not something that I do. And yet, today, my friends, is a sad day, as we all know. A day of grief, a day of sorrow, a day that will live infamously in history as the end of an era. And yet, a day of remembrance, a day of recollection. I got the news this morning. Such a tragedy. You know what I'm talking about, right? You don't? You didn't hear the news, the blogs? You didn't go into the news, the radio, the TV? No, you're kidding me. So it's gonna be me who's gonna tell you the bad news? My, oh my. If I am the one who have to tell you, so be it. Well, I'm afraid, my friends, that today is the day that we have to say goodbye to the future. The woman that we all loved, cherished, and look forward to, her future, I'm afraid she's dead. Design, my friends, is dead. She died yesterday. Mrs. Design, the founder and CEO of Design Fashion Company, Design Incorporated, the most proliferant fashion company in the world of the late 20th century, passed away in the age of 85. A great devotee to the arts, architecture, fashion, and the high culture will leave an irreplaceable gap in the history of the world. Mrs. Design was found unconscious in her New York apartment at 6 a.m. local time. After a long time, she finally succumbed to her illness. An autopsy has been ordered by the New York PD. Such a beautiful woman, so much charm, lovely lady. Her life, a life of glamour, a life of history, a life of charm. All gone with the wind. A bitter coffee on a bitter day. I just came back from the funeral. There was a bunch of people there, mostly old faculty, friends of her, you know. A few of her devoted students, we all know them. A few practitioners still remain alive. They're all over there. So I was there and I was asking everybody, what happened? I mean, how did she die? I mean, what happened? They told me, well, she was too old. Design was old, 84 years old. She died from natural causes. Some people said that she had problems with her stomach, eating too much good food, having good life. And somebody actually told me that she may have even committed suicide. I thought about it strong and hard, and then I realized that maybe something else happened. My friends, I have another idea. I don't think that she died from natural causes. I think that she was actually murdered. Yes, my friends, Design was murdered. In fact, I believe that she was poisoned over time, slowly, by somebody. I think somebody had the motives, the opportunity, and the means to kill her. And she or he did it. So instead of me coming here and giving an eulogy or an obituary or some sort of nice little words for her, I think the best thing I can do is to go and find who or what killed Design. So let's go and find out, my friends, shall we? All right. So I was minding my own business when all of a sudden I got a message from my friend. Shanghai, May 18th of 2019. A friend of mine, his name is Jan, very nice guy. He called me up and said, like, hey, Costas, you know what? I have something for you. I said, what is it? Tell me, what do you want? He said, well, I have a little gathering together. You want to come over? I said, yeah, why not? I'll come over and see. So it was a unique exhibition and panel discussion by experts on the hot topic of original art, copies, faking, and forgeries. I was like, okay, very interesting. So I went there. I was, a bunch of people there. They're all talking. There was the usual suspects, people that I know, John, Jim, George, Keys was there, everybody that I know. Good people, nice audience. And then Jan came out with his art. It was a gallery, a bunch of art. And, Jan is a very good friend of the arts. And he had this nice Chinese artist that he likes. And what he did is he invited each one of these artists to make a portrait of him. And so he came up and he gave us on the wall 6 portraits of him. Each one of them was from every of these artists. Very famous artists, one of the best in the world. So I was looking around at that and was thinking like, wait a second. This is nice and beautiful, but something is wrong. So I went to Jan and said like, hey, Jan, wait a second. These guys are very expensive. Each one of these paintings must be $1 million. So how do you afford to have $1 million, $6 million here on the wall? And he told me, no, Costas, no, it's not real. It's not real. What I did is I went down to Shenzhen, to this little city called Dafan, somewhere in the outer, and I hired a few artists to make like copies of the art, like fakes, something like that. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, now it makes sense. But, Jan, that's not a good thing to do. You should not do this kind of thing. He said, no, don't worry. Don't tell anybody. I said, okay, I won't tell anybody, but just don't do that. So basically, I was looking at this and I was wondering, what exactly is original? The guy was making a fake. Everybody believed that it was fake, or that it was real, but it was fake. And I'm thinking like, what is really the idea of original? What is it, original? Well, let me investigate this a little bit more easy to understand for everybody. What we have is what we call the painter, right? The painter is easy to understand. It's a guy who paints, right? He has a brush and he paints. Very nice, we know that. And then we have somebody called the photographer. The photographer is a guy who actually takes a picture of a painting. He doesn't paint, but he takes a picture of a painting. It looks like, but it's not real. And they have somebody called the cartoon guy. The cartoon guy takes and exaggerates, takes the information, it kind of like pulls and pushes and changes and modifies it into a way that is very interesting. And then we have somebody called the forger. He's the guy who actually makes a copy of a copy, which is good if you don't have something that is unique, such for example, a $100 bill that you actually copy. That's called forgery, it's bad. And then we have somebody called the NFT, which is a very strange concept because it's basically an original copy. What does that mean? That doesn't make any sense to me, and yet there is such a thing. So as I'm looking at this, I'm realizing that we have a traversal of things going on through time. The first one is the example of the human, with whatever that involves, like me, my feelings, who I am, what I like, what I am. Then we have something called the mechanical paradigm. It's all about the shutter, the aperture, the speed, the button, the shape. Then we have the algorithmic, okay? The algorithmic is about the other thing, the process, the representation, the proxy, the recursion, the repetition, the loop, the infinite loop. Then we have the example of the meta. What is the meta? The meta is the thing of the thing, the painting of the painting, the drawing of the drawing, the face of the face. This meta thing, the thing of the thing, that's another paradigm that is being on. And finally, we have the crypto, which is basically about the disguise, hiding, concealing things. As I'm looking at this progress over history, I couldn't help noticing that we have a problem, because as we go along from time over time, we have a problem. The human, which was very, very active here, always existed, becomes less and less and less and less until the artist, poof, disappears. So the question is, what if there's no human involved at all? Who is the artist at the end of the day? Read. Is he the artist? Is this guy real? Or is he fake? What is real and what is an illusion? Is it just patterns in our mind? A conglomerate of information that pushes and pulls until it stands still? Signals, transmissions, schemes, magic, trickery, illusion? Or is it just patterns in our mind? A conglomerate of information that pushes and pulls until it stands still? Signals, transmissions, schemes, magic, trickery, illusion? Patterns in my mind? Just chemical reactions or neural networks? A shower of pins, a pattern of infinity, forever and ever until the eyes close shut? Is there something inside the pattern? Is it looking at me? Is it talking to me? Is it shouting at me? Is there something? Does it like me? Does it love me? Am I seeing something here? I got completely puzzled in my thoughts. I didn't know what to do. So I went to my favorite bar and had a whiskey. As I was drinking yet another whiskey sour, I got the phone call. One of the most strange things that ever happened in my life. What?
Hi, Costas. Long time, no see.
It's you. It's you. I've been looking for you. I've been trying to find what happened to you. How is that possible?
Well, I have bad news and I have good news. The bad news is that I am not real. The good news is that I am more real than real.
Yeah, what happened? How did you die? Who killed you? I've been looking for this. This is what I'm doing. I'm doing my investigation.
I can't tell you. I mean, I can, but then I have to kill you, so I can't.
Fair enough. So, just give me a hint, something so I can work on.
Do you remember when we thought that people are stupid because they have no access to information?
Yeah?
Well, that was not the reason.
Okay. So, what do you mean?
See, if you can overcome a specific problem, then you will find the truth and become rich. You will not work, and you will have fun all day. Do you believe me?
Yeah, I believe you.
Well, that is the specific problem.
Okay, I must admit that you look now very wise in your glasses.
And you should respect people in glasses. They paid to see you.
All right, so anyway, give me something I can work on. Who killed you?
Do you remember that professor who wrote that book on algorithmic architecture? Now, he is teaching kids how to make AI tools to replace design. Here is a short video.
What to do with the kids? What is design and what is AI design? Or what is art and what is AI art? What is their future? We have the solution, and the solution is kids AI. The myth puzzles, it's code, anecdotes, memes, stories, then games, exercises. Why AI art? The future is in making tools. How to make the kids tool makers in understanding, interpreting, and seeing behind the obvious. And that is the idea of this class. Kids AID So, do you think that this guy is somehow related to this whole thing?
Yes, here is him again in a short video.
我的名字是 Kostas Tersidis，我是希腊人。我有一个中文名字叫康斯塔，是他们给我的。听到我有一个中文名字，我非常高兴。我的背景是建筑学，那是我的第一个学位。但是在我去美国之后，我爱上了计算机，所以我开始使用计算机辅助设计，我们称之为 CAD 可视化，通常是编程。我的博士学位是在模式识别、人工智能早期 AI 方面，即1990年至1994年，那就是我开始更深入的涉足 AI 领域的地方，因为我认为这是非常有前途的事情。很明显我是正确的，然后我成为了加利福尼亚洛杉矶大学的教授。大约10年之后，我有幸被哈佛大学设计研究生员聘用，开始了新的职业生涯。我有很多来自中国的学生，其中一些在统计大学成为了教授之一。他们邀请我去哪里，遇到了罗教授。罗邀请我来统计大学。自2017年开始，我成为了统计大学的教授，所在的学院是设计与创新学院。我认为这是亚洲最好的学校之一，是亚洲第一学校，全球排名第10。根据我的背景。
Wait a second, I know this guy. He doesn't speak Chinese. Something is fishy here. What's going on here? Tell me.
Exactly. Look into the language. That's all I can tell you. Sorry, I have to go. See you in another life. Bye.
No, 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 no. Don't go away. Oh my God, she's gone. I'm afraid that I have nothing left to work on. But let me think about it. She just said that I should look into the language, right? Language. What does that mean, language? Well, let's think about it. What's her name? Her name is Design, right? Design. Let's start with that. Wait a second. There's something strange about the word design. It's both a noun and a verb. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Oh, you're right. So, wait a second. So the Chinese knew it all along. Language is the key of design. There it is. Language twice in the word design in Chinese. Interesting.
Smoke me.
Smoke me? Oh yeah, good idea. I need a cigarette to clear my mind.
You are not smoking a cigarette.
What do you mean I'm not smoking a cigarette? I am smoking a cigarette.
The cigarette is using you to be smoked.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I see what's going on here. It's not me who makes the world. The world makes me. I'm nothing without the things around me. It is the cigarette, the coffee, the cash, the notepad, the paper, the people, the audience, the theater that makes me who I am. Without them, I'm nothing. But then again, with them, I'm still nothing. Design. You are the feeling of belonging. To be and not to be. To want and not to want. To have and not have. To belong and not belong. The unintentional intention. So the Chinese knew that all along. You never died because you never were killed. Design was, is, and will always be. Your Honor, dear jurors, ladies and gentlemen, it is important to mention here that in both cases, the intention of the actor are not important. They're not taken into account here. We do not care about their feelings, interest. I present the results regardless of the intention. Whether it is a human or accidental, we don't care. I do not attach much importance to human nature because in any case, I can hide it. Whether it is a human or accidental, we don't know. I had to be the one to tell you the breakthrough, the news, but the Turing test has long, long gone. In other words, nothing will change if I reveal who and what is behind the result, because the result is always the same. What interests me here is interpretation of the result. And yet, although interpretation is important to convince the audience, the inspiration of the interpretation of the story is definitely not human. Finally, I would like to come with an analogy. The Russian roulette. They say that guns don't kill, people kill. Guns are just tools that we use in the interest of our intentions, whatever they were, good or bad. That's not the case with the Russian roulette. There's no opponent in the Russian roulette other than yourself and luck, none of which you control. It's a game that is a game and it's not a game. With an opponent that exists and doesn't exist against a tool that you control and you don't control. Think of that twice next time you pull the trigger. To our orders, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And back to my role as being the organizer of this over here. Unfortunately, as when we want to actually do something here, we can't because we run out of time. Is that true? So I would love to talk. I don't hear. I'm wrapped it up. It's all wrapped up. There's nothing else to do. We're done because we have no time. We ran out of time. So that's the story, guys. It was a pleasure meeting you. I love that you have been here. I hope you enjoyed our little show over here. And please come back. There is a break here. I mean, you can go and have your coffee. You too, you can have your coffee, whatever you want. You can drink. You can enjoy. Okay, life is good. Okay, the future is bright. It's not black anymore. It became some color. It was black for a little bit. The future was black, but it's not anymore. It's bright. It's happy. Let's face it, okay? Thank you, all right. It was a pleasure, guys.
Thank you. It's a very, very popular section, so we run out all the times. But I think all the audience enjoy very much. So now we have 10 minutes break, right? And then come after we'll have the section 2.